Another very interesting as well as relatively advanced concept in modern Python is the idea of comprehensions, or in Spanish, lo comprendo. I get it. So before extending Python so as to allow a new type of syntax, Python is able to understand comprehensions involving all of the sequence data types, with the sole caveat that whatever we're collecting obviously must be mutable or able to be changed. Focusing on list comprehensions, then, we understand that if I have a string, we can print it easily enough. And if I wanted to print the content of a string, of course, we're going to iterate through each one of the substrings in string so as to put each and every character into its own instance of string. So while we all probably understand how we can iterate through each and every character, in this case, in my last name, because string, like most collection types in modern Python, is indeed iterable. Once we create a list, of course, we can put together an expression that will simply have all of our characters in the resulting list. And that's easy enough to understand, certainly given what we've seen so far. But notice here that each value is simply going to be put into the list by virtue of the fact we are iterating through my last name. Keeping up with the idea of collecting vowels, of course, we all know that a vowel in the English language is simply one of A, E, I, O, U, as well as sometimes Y. And now we see how well we have filtered so as to collect any vowels, once again, in my last name. Very difficult to understand, perhaps. List comprehensions are very high on the to-do list for anybody who wants to master Python, certainly any interview questions. Keeping in mind that we do indeed have string sets and dictionaries, but no tuples. So having shared the idea of having a generator previously, of course, we can simply surround our statement, our value filtration comprehension in this case, with parentheses so as to create an object generator, which of course we know will not begin to filter out our values, of course, until we use the contents of operator as we see here. So something we should probably also review, of course, is whenever we use the name of the collection class, whatever we provide in the default constructor or initializer, of course, is going to iterate through everything as we've discussed and as we've previously seen, so as to give us the values. So while we often see list comprehensions alone, and also as we've just seen, the member functions of values, because a list is indeed updatable, we could actually extend our list, including a likewise evaluatable type, which we, of course, could get from a comprehension. For example, if we wanted to evaluate each one of our iterable strings, or substrings in this case, to include everything except for our vowels, we're going to return a generator that will be iterated by extend, so as to only extend our original values collection, so as to include vowels that are not in A, E, I, O, U, or Y. Very Pythonic. So putting everything together that we've talked about in this video, of course, we know that we can indeed create a generator as we see, as we iterate through each and every substring in ratbat. If we take that generator, therefore, and put it into the initializer for the class of list, everything generates as we expect, and then reloading or repriming our generator again, so as to do the same thing with the set collection type, gives us what we'd expect, only the characters that are unique and applicable for our then operations. Ultimately, however, and perhaps a bit surprisingly, we can indeed use the tuples named class so as to create and initialize even a tuple, which many new Pythoneers and some advanced Pythoneers find to be a little interesting as well. If you'd like to learn more about comprehensions, be they sets, dictionaries, and of course we just covered lists, go ahead and take a gander at my list of free and open tutorials on this as well as in other online educational content providers.